Cody Collier, man, welcome to the race report. The Wild Boar round 2 of the GNCC. Wow, what a day, right?
Yeah, no good racing all day. Beautiful day for it. No rain, sunshine, and beautiful down there in the Sunshine State. Not too hot, real good this time of year. Real good day racing all the way around.
Hey, some of that course looked a bit rough. I mean, to come from the West Coast where we're made of whoops and rocks, and I don't know if I'd have had a whole lot of fun there.
Yeah, no, your boy Braxton Gross seemed to have a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did, but not everybody did.
No, it was brutal. I think I'm the only person that's happy in that 10 a.m. race. That's happy that we went for 5 laps. Yeah, no, Florida's brutal as always, but a good day of racing nonetheless.
That's awesome. Hey, I was looking here, this is something that you started. We took checking out the youth. So I looked at the youth race and the whole top 5 is all over the map.
Yeah. No, it was very mixed up on the starts and everything. I think they had a lot of issues with lappers and bottlenecks. Seemed like they were always getting mixed up. Andrew, sorry, not Andrew, his younger brother Jake Smallwood led the first 2 laps of that youth race, and then he was dropped way back on that 3rd lap, and then I see him getting towed out with mechanical. So I don't know if mechanicals took him out of the running in the first place or what happened there, but Jake was having a really good ride early.
Owens ended up winning it.
Stetson got a lot of pace. I think he won 1 or 2 last year. Stetson has a lot of pace. Ended up being there at the end and picking up the lead. I think that 3rd or 4th lap and holding it to the checker.
Well, you got to freaking fill me in on this. Landon Glauda. How many kids do they got?
That's their 4th. That's their 4th. They got 3 boys, 1 girl. Junior's the oldest in the XC1 class. Had himself. We'll get to him later. Had a really good first couple laps in that XC1 race. Jameson's the next, I believe. James is the next. No, I think Jameson is older than James. There's a year there. I think Jameson's next. She's the photographer, does the Jamie G photography. And then it's James, and he's a was XC2 rider. Seems like he's not doing the full racing thing this year. Not sure what's going on there, but he actually ended up racing the Sportsman A race at Florida this year. And then their youngest, Landon, Flapjack, we like to call him. He young and hungry, fiery little kid. Went out there and got 2nd overall. So yeah, they got a family of talent in the racing, and Jameson does really good with their photography. So,
man, there's a lot of them. A lot of them. I was looking at that going, Cody's gonna have to fill me in on this because that's just crazy. Anything that you did that I didn't get out of the videos and the photos and the writings from the racers. I try to read as much as I can. Some people thought that race was brutal and some didn't. What was your take on the whole situation?
Yeah. And then just want to shout out Bodie Buckhannon real quick, the last place on the overall podium in the youth. Son of Brian Buckhannon, longtime 4x4 pro rider, 4x4 pro, top 4x4 rider for there's 4x4 pro and multi-time champ of all the highest divisions. So I think he was the first ever 4x4 pro champ as well. But he got 3rd overall in the youth. I think he got 2nd or 3rd overall round 1. So I think he's in a really good spot in points for Bodie. So. But I thought Florida was kind of in the middle this year. I thought it was a little on the nicer side because the dirt did have moisture, so it had some amount of base, and it wasn't just powder all the way through. This is like a white sand, so it's very powdery, especially on top. You'll get to a little bit coarser sand on a few inches deep, and then the water helped keep that together and keep it from getting so deep this year.
How about the as far as rough? I mean, when people are saying how rough it was last year, if I can remember correctly, it was deep, dark ruts through the whole thing. And it just seemed like it was, the speeds might even have been down because it just like you dragged your way through.
I mean, it's just going to dig out every year. Some years are a little better and a little nicer than others. I thought like the conditions, as far as it being rough, were pretty nice. I thought it was the right amount of moisture for it to keep from getting like just completely breaking down from the powder and being so wet that's just gnarly. So I thought it was kind of a nice in the middle this year. I thought it was a kind Florida.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that. A kind Florida.
It's still gnarlier than about any other race you're going to race all year long, no matter the conditions.
Right.
It's kind for Florida.
Okay. All right. How many weeks for the next round?
if you look at the lap times in the 4x4 pro class, I think we were a minute slower every lap, almost on the dot, just from how the track deteriorated. We were about a minute slower a lap pace, just from the track deteriorating.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue that. You know, I mean, I think it looked brutal to me, and I was just seeing it in the pictures. So
yeah, no, between you and me and the folks on the podcast, I guess that's our next segment is the 4x4 pro race, right?
yes, it is. That's what I was just getting to roll into. You know,
Go ahead, set it up.
we had a little change in a couple positions. The only two consistent riders in the well, three consistent riders is you, Frazier, and Mickelson. We changed up third and fifth place for a couple different spots, but for the most part, you know, you guys are staying really consistent. It looked like you and Frazier must have had a battle royale through most of the race.
Yeah. No, good day for racing. Like we were talking about on the pre-race show, I'm still coming off my illness, and Ricky threw the green flag, and I looked down at my thumb before I moved it or something. You know, I just a little slow off the horn, got pinched off on the start. I was seventh on the whole shot. I think I pinched off Braden going into the woods, so I was like sixth going into the woods, and just had to work my way from the back from there. Frazier got the whole shot. I don't know if he got the whole shot or led in the woods or what, but he was first or second and got the lead early, and then kind of ran with it from there. So Frazier got I think he was 30 seconds ahead on the first lap, and I was still in third behind Gavin Jenkins, who's putting up a pretty good pace, and finally got around Gavin around the 2 mile marker, a little after the 2 mile marker. Kind of trying to get my pace. I ate a bunch of sand dust and had that coat in my throat. So I was trying to it's a weird little thing, but I was trying to salivate to break up the sand in my mouth to try to not gag from it and throw up and stuff. I was fighting throw up real bad that first couple of laps just from the amount of dust I was eating. Just how we were talking about, it's that white sand and real powdery on top. The dust pretty much went away the lap 4 and 5 for us, but the first couple of laps it was pretty good layer of dust.
So what you guys, just so that we can understand, so the listeners can understand, you guys are cleaning off some of that excess really, really loose powder, and that's why you later in the race you didn't have that, is because you'd already moved that all off the track or already sucked it into your bellies.
Yep. Either stuck to our inside of the lungs or to the bikes or blown off to the side or building up to a sand pile to the side. Just where the tire tracks are digging out that rut. And, you know, there's 300-400 riders in that AM race for the most part, depending on the event. And a lap to lap, that's going to dig out pretty heavy. So it's going to evolve and change. How we're talking about if you go and look at the 4x4 pro lap times, we're almost a minute a lap slower just from how the track was deteriorating.
How did it break down? You know, in the pre, Jenkins was in front of you guys. I think both of you at one point. I think, if I remember correctly, I don't remember. I was reviewing this a little while ago. I know he was in front of you, but didn't he get in front of Frazier too?
I think he got whole shot or led into the woods, him or Caden. Like I said, I'm not sure. I had my own thing going on back there and haven't seen a lot of footage from our race.
It might have been. I think it was Jenkins that it said. I think it was Gavin that led. Apologize if I got it wrong, but you know he was in front of you at one point in time in the race. You said you got around him on lap 2. That just left you and Frazier for the next 3 laps to fight it out. How did that battle break down?
Good. He got that early lead and kind of ran with it. I got away while he could, and I got in that second. Like I said, tried to find my footwork that lap 2 and finally found a flow. And then lap 3 and 4, I kindly sprinted. I think I was like 41 seconds back at the end of lap 2, and then sprinted from there. And then I think it was like 21 seconds, and then I caught him going into the last lap. So the race was on. I caught him pretty early on the lap 4. Caught him pretty early on, started putting pressure on and kind of, you know, figured out his pace, figured out my spots. And then, yeah, last lap happened. I was putting the pressure on, like we were talking about before the show. I did have a couple spots picked out in that last lap. I had one spot I felt really good about getting him on, but he had a mechanical failure, unfortunately, right around the 2 mile marker, right in front of my pits, actually. So Frazier had a mechanical there. I stopped and checked on, made sure he was okay. Hollered at my pitch. They all turned and see me and started running. My mechanic, Mike Seegers, actually figured out what the problem was with Brandon's bike and got Brandon back going.
Nice. I love that. I love that when that happens because, nobody wants to win because somebody had a failure. They want to go out and beat him. And I think your team and his team are both the same way. Let's go race heads up and the better man wins for the day. Unfortunately, your guy had to fix his bike to make it so he could finish. But that'll just put him back in the fight and make him fight harder next time, right?
Yeah. No, unfortunately, had the issue in the first place, but I love that. My team's with me on that. That we want to build, a culture that's good, clean racing, right? No, nothing dirty, nothing. Just trying to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, right? So taking care of him, I would hope his pits would do the same thing for me moving forward. Now we've established that, I'd hope I get the same treatment back. So, yeah, no, I think it's very cool that we're able to do that for each other, even at this high level.
I've fixed a couple competitors' machines myself, and because I just never want to see, I just never want to see the teams not finish. These guys work too hard. You gotta get their bikes going. We got a big shout out there to um, is it Dayton?
Dayton Hickey, Factory D. Yeah, me and Gavin Jenkins, and then for the 10 to 9 hour, we get the 3 teammates. The third teammate is Dayton Hickey himself. So
there you go.
More wheel drive, team more wheel drive. No, I love to see it. Yeah, on the podium. It's only his third ever 4x4 pro race. He's raced the 4x4 3-4 years now with me and Gavin in that team race. I think he's raced 1 or 2 locals ever. He doesn't really get any seat time on the 4x4. Got to ride a handful of times this off season. He's already on the 4x4 pro podium. Mr. Noah Likens knocked him off the overall podium from that 250 All-Star class, riding really well, getting overall. With Frazier having his issues, he got inherited that second overall. But yeah, on a roll. Keep it up. Keep it up, young man.
But it's okay. It's okay that he didn't get on the actual overall podium, but he did get on the pro 4x4 podium. Take him when you can get him. Congratulations. That 4x4 class is getting more and more competitive. I think you and Brandon better keep your eyes forward because those guys are coming.
I think we were 6 minutes ahead of Dayton. I was,
and Frazier was. Why you gotta rub it in, man?
I just it's very rare that you get 2 guys at such a high level in any sport, and me and Frazier are really pushing the envelope. So I think I deserve a little shout out.
Gavin got himself, soil sampling and testing the sand there in Florida. He might have been a little closer if that wouldn't have happened. So.
And he was. No, Gavin was definitely I think Gavin's trying to separate himself as that number 3 guy right now. The first couple of laps, he was the only guy within a minute of the lap times of me and Brandon.
Right. And I think that I'm telling you, they're getting faster, dude. And you guys helping them are only going to make them faster. So, just make sure you got the eye in the back of your helmet watching what's going on. That other AM race class that we watch is the WXC. These ladies, anything goes, anything can happen at any given moment. Looked to me like Hannah Hunter whole shotted it and led the whole way.
Yeah. No, it looked about the same for me from the footage I've seen, checking the lap times and everything. It looked like a Hannah led flag to flag. I think that the top 2 or 3 ladies beat Dayton in the overall. Now I was thinking about, I think Dayton got like 7th or 8th overall. So I think the one of the ladies would have gotten on the overall podium if it wasn't for Mr. Likens.
Okay.
Hannah. And then, but no, Hannah pretty much led flag to flag. Jessica hounded her to the finish. I think it was 3 seconds at the end. So Jessica hounded her all the way to the finish. Avery Collins was up in the mix early. I think she passed Jessica for second place on that second lap and was second early on. Not sure if what happened to her at the end. I don't know if she just got tired her first year in the WXC in that AM race, trying to adapt to it still, get used to that Florida GNCC. She fell off at the end there and ended up 4th behind Chloe.
Yeah, well, Chloe worked her way from 6th, and you could just see a gradual progression of her moving up. Unfortunately, Caitlin dropped back to 6th. But you know what? You have to look at, we talked about these ladies. Avery Collins is new, fast, young. she's dynamite on four wheels, and another contender for that top 4 or 5 spot next year, maybe the year after. She's running up in that top three groove. You also have Andrea Rogers. She's doing well. She bounced back to fifth after last weekend having or last race having an issue. So there's some ladies that are in there that we don't talk about much, but they're no slouch.
Yeah, no. It's like comparing the XC1 guys to the rest of the to Walker and Bryson. You have the top 10 gals in the country and the world racing together, and it's tough when you're comparing them to, the best of the best. Very good in their own right. Top 20 overall finishes very consistently in that AM race, so they're figuring it out.
Exactly. And Hannah needed that win. It must have been a great ride for her to go out and beat Jessica. As Jessica's done very well there. I didn't expect Hannah to take this race, maybe one of the other ones a little later, because Jessica usually does really well here. I think that she got her very first win at this course.
I'm not sure on that. Don't know all of Jessica's rate. Or her first win would have been. I believe it was back in like 1920 was her first win.
Right after the podcast, or right after the podcast started, or right before, one of the two, because I had her early on. She was on the show, and it was I think she was on the show, and then I think she got her win.
Yeah.
So
No, she's been at it a long time. She hasn't been at it her whole life. She's one of those started later in her career type of things.
right, but
It picked it up quick.
exactly, and I think that those ladies are only going to get faster. They keep raising the bar, just like in the pro 4x4 class. You guys keep raising the bar; those other guys are going to get faster as well. Um, I do have a change of subject question for you.
All
I
right.
watch you and Brandon on your videos, and maybe it's the machine, but how big of an individual are you? How tall are you?
5'10", 5'11", 190.
You guys look like little kids.
The big bike, dude. It's 1,000 pounds, 25-inch wheels. It's a big machine.
Some of the guys on the 450s look like giants, but you guys look like little kids.
Yeah, no, it's a big bike, dude. It's a lot of machine to hang on to. Yeah, no, it's you lean, and it's more just so you don't get thrown off. The quad doesn't really care that you're leaning. It's more just for you to hang on.
Well, I just had to bring that up in the deal. We had a Canadian get on the podium in XC2.
Yeah, no, he was totally off my radar. I mean, I was watching the race. I was like, makes sense. Canada's got a lot of the Quebec area where he's from racing. My buddy Gavin Jenkins up there for the Canadian Championships. I think Danik was the champion last year.
I'm not sure. I know that we spoke about him last year when he was down here in a couple of XC races, when we talked on the show before. So I remember the name. I just didn't. I knew it was Canadian immediately because we had talked about him last year, but to see him on the podium kind of shocked me a little bit, especially in the.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, yeah, the XC2 podium, like we were talking about, your boy Braxton Gross out there from the East Coast had a stellar day. I think he won by over a minute. I think Dan kind of kept him honest there at the end, but Braxton put up a big gap early and ran away with it, top 10 overall. I think he ended up 8th overall for the day. So Braxton with a very strong ride.
Is this third Alex's worst finish in a long time?
Yeah. I think he got knocked off the podium once towards the end of the year last year. Got like a 4th or something, I believe. But
I was thinking the same thing.
yeah, Braxton came to play, rode very well, top 10 overall in the Florida Sands. Same with Pack, and I think he was 9th overall, right behind him. Those two boys put on the clinic, and then Diamond really fell apart that last lap. I just don't know if he was ready for the Sands this year and everything. It's brutal out there. But still rode great enough to get that third in XC2, and held off Jeremiah Wolf for that podium spot. And I say fell off because we have all this expectation of what Alex is, the champ, supposed to be winning these races. So still got third place. Florida beat up on him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, don't think I'm picking on you at all, brother. You're still freaking leading the points. You're last year's champ. You obviously are doing something right. And last year he swooped in, under the radar and won the title and won the first round and did really, really great. You know, I thought Eller was going to take it. I had no way Eller wasn't going to win the title and boom, there's Alex freaking taking it away. That's why we race every round.
Yeah,
A couple other, you mentioned Jeremiah Wolf for coming in. He improved from the first round. The crazy thing is some of the guys that were up up in the upper echelon finished farther down.
Yeah, Florida's about grit, dude. It's not about bike skill. Bike skill helps a lot, maybe save some energy, being able to do some things other people aren't, just in little sections. But Florida's just about grit, And I think it's just not to pick on Alex anymore, but just seeing your XC2 champion struggle comparatively to a couple of the other riders in the class, I think is a testament to how tough Florida is.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. I think that course, just from the videos that I watched, was just super, super rough. And I don't think would have wanted to be there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's my race starts. The track's pretty nice for my first two, 3 laps of that race. But the last 2, 3 laps are pretty brutal. It starts to get dug out. It's knee deep about everywhere, and that's the track that they start on because they race after the AM race. So their track, they start out and it's 10 miles of knee deep sand whoops first
Oh,
lap, and they just have to ride knee deep sand whoops in the woods at pace for 2 hours. I've done it several years. I got 6 or 7 plus years in that PM race, and it is brutal.
last year we talked about Walraven some.
Yep, the Mud Raven.
And what's going on with him? He seems farther back than normal. Have you heard anything about him?
No, I just don't think he had a good showing at round one. It was kind of one of those races. If things weren't clicking, they weren't going to click for you. So just with how slick it was and the conditions and how dug out it got late, and if you weren't in a good spot early, you got caught up in the mess and everybody else's mistakes. So I think it was just one of those for him at round one. And then I think Florida's just brutal. Doan's not one of the taller guys. Doesn't have all that leverage on the bike. Think it just beat up on him a little bit. So see how Dega is. I'd look for him to regroup. Hopefully, start put together some top fives. He's one of those guys that's got a lot of bike skill and grit. Just gotta make it happen.
I agree. Logan Steele seems to be farther down on the order than I expected him. Dalton Keys, he's running 8th in points. I kind of expected him to be a little farther up as well, but there's a couple names in there that I wasn't used to either. So this class has got just a bunch of skill. Like we say every time on here, I think people are getting tired of hearing it that this class is loaded with just super talent. And that just it's if they all go to XC1, oh boy, it's going to get exciting.
Yeah, like you're saying, like where's Elijah Edmondson and Andrew Manovsky, 2 podium finishers at round one? I don't think they're in the top. I don't know if either of them got in the top 10. I think Elijah might got 8th or 9th or something, but
And Andrew got a DNF.
okay. I think he got the whole shot again. So unfortunate for Mr. Andrew.
Elijah got 12th.
Yeah, it's why there's a lot of diversity. A lot of things are going to happen in that class. Lot of people. So like the X2 is a lot of young and hungry racers. So it's a lot of people developing their bike program. So mechanicals are going to happen in that class more often than some other classes because they're really pushing the pace on those machines while developing the program. So you're going to see bike failures here and there.
Right, right. I get it. You've already mentioned this to me that, Florida is going to change things for so many different people. And I get it because not every class was a huge swing. Your class didn't have the same huge swing at a couple different riders. WXC had a few different riders moving around. XC2 had a huge swing. Same with XC1, there was kind of a huge swing.
Yeah. And as far as like that three through 14 pack, they all got bunched up.
Right. One thing that I forgot to mention, your points in WXC, you have first and second are tied. Third, fourth, and fifth are all tied.
It's very cool to see.
Yeah, that to me, that it doesn't, how much better does it get, right?
Yeah, yeah. Starting the year off, that's good competition right there. Good racing.
Well, XC1, we have two races, two different winners. The leaders are tied for points. The crazy thing is when you get back to third in points, Stephen Harrell, he's 15, 16 points back of the leaders, and there's only been 2 rounds.
Yeah, no, you got the pro points. There's you got to keep in mind you get 30 points for a win, 25 for second, and it goes back from there. So there's a 5-point advantage for both for the winner of the race just over second.
Right.
And I think the advantage to like first place to fourth, which is where Steven is like 8 or 9 points or 8 points a race from V16 back.
Right. And he's third in points. He's got a fifth and a fourth. It's a good showing for him. It's moving up. It's moving his number up like he's supposed to. This is his sophomore year in the pro class, and to already be running third in points. Hunter Hart, didn't he get out front?
He led early. I believe he was leader at the end of the first lap. Bryson got the whole shot. Not sure what happened there. Why he dropped back. Must have just made a mistake. Got crossed up in the line. Not sure what happened with him. But yeah, Hunter was leading first lap. Looked hungry and like he was attacking. And then he kindly fell off towards the end of the race. Ended up P6. Not sure if it was physical or mechanical or what, but ended up fading off towards the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten any reports on anything going on or happening with him. McGill bounced back to his seventh, which is a little better than he normally runs, but not as good as he'd like, I'm sure. Your buddy Wilkin, he got third, got himself on the box again, which was a great ride for him. He had to work his way for it, just like Fowler had to work his way to second.
Yeah, hard work works. He's one of the. I think it's just the other than Walker and Bryson, just the strongest physically and the strongest willed guy out there, and just worked his way through the pack and just kept attacking the Florida sand and just beat up on it more than beat up on him.
Exactly. You talked to me about this guy, Jay Schraden.
Jay Shadron.
Sorry about Jay. I'm horrible with names, probably because I'm old and I can't see and I can't read. I went to California schools. What do you expect? He got fifth.
Yeah, very impressive. I did not see that coming. I know he's been doing a lot of riding down here, down south in Florida. Plays a lot in the sand down here. Did not see that coming. Yeah, normally he's a guy that relies more on his bike skill than his endurance and everything, more than his grit. But he really proved me wrong this weekend. He got out there and got the fifth, pretty much pushed Steven through the finish line for that fourth place spot. So the most impressive thing, I think, is that he broke his foot during the race and finished with a broken foot and got fifth next one.
Did he know he was hurt?
I don't know all of that. I just seen some x-rays that his sister posted.
Wow. That's some grit there. And John Glauda Jr., Mr. Consistent, 8th and 8th, and he ran up front too.
He did early. I haven't got to talk to him yet. Don't know why he fell off like he did. He was, I think, P2, ended for the first lap right there on the lead. And then, again, don't know if he clipped a tree, caught his knee on something, tweaked something. I hope he's physically fine and just got beat up by Florida and he's ready to go for round 3.
Jared McClure, is he still riding a Honda?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Him and Adam. Last two. Dudes.
Well, you know what? If you like it, you like it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Gross is still on a Honda too.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of people on Honda still. No, just give them a hard time. No, they're got programs that work for them, and yeah, McClure got whole shot round 1, led for a good bit there. Bigo got a win last year, so they got programs that work for them.
What do you think about possibly going to hybrids?
I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's nice that Yamaha is still helping the sport and everything. If we start the hybrids, it might make them want to drop off. But I don't think hybrids would be a bad thing for a good part of the sport. It's just tricky. It's a tricky one. Seeing how it'll develop 10 years down the road from now.
Do you think the hybrids could go out and beat what you have now?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, if you drop a dirt bike motor and a 450 chassis, it's faster. It's
Yeah, but
lighter.
is it faster than what you have developed already? I mean, more horsepower in the woods isn't going to make some of these guys faster.
I mean, I know Boris was running a 70 horsepower motor on the Suzuki, and a lot of the reason why he would back in his dominant era, a lot of the reasons why he wasn't like just leaving everybody was that the quad couldn't handle it. He knew it could handle Adam or Kaiser, whoever's pace was leading that day, fall them to the last lap in the last 5 miles, just turn it on. So people can definitely handle that extra horsepower in the woods, the top of the elite of the elite. So being able to have a motor you can drop in there that can handle the more horsepower, and you're not having to do an entire new top end every single time you ride it, would be, you know, at least help the pocketbooks for the top guys. And then for
Well,
the, you know, the guys coming in, they don't have to do any motor work really. They'll just drop a dirt bike motor in there with a, you know, just a little bit of top end work.
if that, because you know you might want to change the cam, or you're going to do something with your ECU to change the power around. Um, I don't know. I'm not sold that, because I know that if you use motocross as your example, the hybrids aren't dominating some of the classes that are joint. The factory bikes are.
I have, yeah. I just, and it's kind of a new thing, new deal. I just have a hard time believing you can't develop a hybrid further than you can develop a factory bike.
I didn't say you couldn't. I just think that I do not believe at first it's going to make a difference for the industry. At first, you know, like, well, if you take Walsh and look at his Gen 3, so I can put my YZ 450 motor in it. I can put my CRF motor in it. I can put my KTM in it. I can put my Suzuki, my Kawasaki in it. Whatever I want to put in it, I can put in it from 250 to 450. And I just have to buy some mounts or a couple different pieces, and I can still run all of the existing componentry. And all I'm doing is changing the motor.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's a lot of the appeal. And then having a motor that's a lot cheaper to maintain.
Yeah, it is cheaper. The problem is you got to buy a motorcycle.
Yeah, you may not get to pick which motor you get, but there's always somebody yard selling a dirt bike.
That's true.
So
I see him.
You might have to either be not picky or patient to get the motor you want.
Right on, right on. So where are we racing next?
Yeah, no, Talladega, baby. I think it's very cool that we get the opportunity to be on such a legendary racing compound. So we're going to Talladega NASCAR Speedway, the actual property. They've got like over 400 acres of property there. So being able to be on site there at a legendary racing headquarters and helping grow the sport, I think is really cool.
Any predictions in any classes?
Um, No, I hope my buddy Landon Glauda goes out there and gets his first ever win. He says the pace is coming easy. He said just a couple little mistakes. I get to talk to him a little bit here and there. He says it's coming easy. Just got to clean it up a little bit. He came from the back and ended up second, not too far off the lead. So, you know, he's hungry, looking good. You know, I'm feeling good, 2 for 2. I'm looking to go 3 for 3. Things are clicking for me. I'm feeling good on and off the bike. You know, I look for Chloe to have a good ride one of these races, be up front, and she you know, I think she's getting frustrated that she's not getting good starts, not being able to be in the race. So look for Chloe put together a good ride here soon. Yeah, Walker and Bryson are gonna be a lot of fun to watch out front. Hopefully Wyatt can keep putting together. Big Wilkin fan over here. So yeah, good race all around. And I also want to shout out Noah Lyken's older brother, Cole Lyken's top amateur 20th overall in the PM race. Not easy to get top 20 overall in Florida as an amateur.
Nice, nice. Congratulations. That's pretty awesome stuff. I'm looking forward to Talladega. How many weeks do we got to wait?
One. I'm down here right now in Alabama, stay of the week. This is my one vacation of the year typically. Just the week between Florida and Georgia. Typically, I use it to train more and get more riding in. But As I'm getting older, I'm starting to enjoy it more. Just enjoying we got a nice little cabin down here in Alabama, enjoying it with the wife and the dogs, and looking to get out here Thursday, go racing. So
You're still a kid. I don't want to hear this. I'm getting older stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm 2 years from vet class, man. 2 years from vet class.
That's only 30.
Yeah, 28 here on the East Coast.
Yeah, but that's only the vet class is 30.
It's 28.
It's 28, really? It's not even a vet class yet.
28
vet class. You're not even a vet. At 28, you're not a vet. I'm sorry.
It's 28 on the East Coast.
Oh, dude, you guys on the East Coast need to get your shit together because it's 30 years old out here.
And, yeah, don't know what to tell you. Come out here and get a couple more years.
I remember thinking, oh my God, those vet guys are so old.
I think it's just as the sport's growing, like at a younger age, the college class was just so big for so many years. They started to cut down. They lowered the age limits on the classes to kindly split up all the rising entries.
Yeah, I mean, you want to make it fun. You want everybody to have a good time, and you want them all to race. You got to do what you got to do to make it good. You know, I still think they need to get rid of that DEI hire and GNCC.
We'll get on that another one, brother. We'll get on that another one.
I had to bring that up, you know.
Don't need to get y'all worked up again.
No, we had such a great conversation about it last time. I just had to bring it up. All right, brother. I'm going to let you go tonight. Enjoy your holiday, your vacation. We'll catch up to you soon. And, you know, have a great time. Thank you so much, Cody. I really appreciate it.